Hi, my name's Cameron Carlson. Today I'm here with the lovely and talented Christopher Ayres.
Lovely? That's not a word I would choose for me, but go ahead.
Talented Christopher Ayres.
Sometimes.
And we're at Ohayocon 2011.
Always obnoxious Christopher Ayres. How about that?
We're at the lovely Ohayocon 2011 in a newly redesigned type of space of the convention this year. And it hasn't been all that long since we last saw you, so how was the IkiCon go for you?
IkiCon was phenomenal. It's a convention that I love. I've been to IkiCon since its very first year. I've not missed a year yet. That was the con that Greg had the heart attack at a couple of years ago. Yeah. And we still managed to get all of our well, Greg didn't, but I still managed to get all my panels in. And it's a show that I really love. I love the fans in Texas. I love the fans most everywhere. But since Texas is my stomping ground, it's a lot of fun. It was just a great show. It was on New Year's Eve. My parents came up for the convention. My nephew, who's 6 years old, came up. It was his first time ever at a convention. He had a great time. We took him on stage at the dance, and the crowd just screamed for him and threw him glow sticks. And he thought he was a rock star. He thought he was He told my mom, he said, "That's like being a rock star." It was so cute. So I was glad that his first convention experience was so wonderful, and everybody really was so sweet to him. So it was good.
And it's all family there too.
Oh yeah, that's a convention much like this one. That's like a family to us. So it was good.
Okay, well, this year at Ohayocon, this year's theme was steampunk,
yes.
And we know you like steampunk, and you have hanged out with the Airship. You hang out with the group called the Airship Isabella and the Dickens on the stand. How's it being able to hang out with them here and at other conventions?
They weren't here. They were at Dickens on the Strand. Airship Isabella, for my brother and I, really, and the group that's here, the Vagabonds, they and the Isabella group really helped change my brother and my opinion of steampunk. I had met so many steampunk people that were very rude. They felt like if they were at a convention, the convention should be about steampunk. And this convention isn't about steampunk. That's the theme of the convention, just in terms of the look and design. And the Isabella crew, when I met them, were and are some of the most down-to-earth, real people. Anyone that has an interest in steampunk, they will help them do what they can. They will talk to them about how to make. In fact, this necklace that I'm wearing, go ahead and get a close-up. This was actually from the Airship Isabella people. The girl on the front is their Clockwork Fairy, Nixie X Essex, who's actually my very good friend Caitlin French. They do jewelry, they make goggles, they sell all kinds of apparel, and on top of it, they are just really nice people that would give you the shirt off their back, and they have redeemed both mine and my brother's opinion of steampunk and how it should be done in terms of kindness. And it's like Captain Whitaker from Isabella, he's kind of their leader, says he doesn't understand why steampunk people would be rude, because it's modeled after the Victorian society, which was all about being polite and being a gentleman. And so it staggers him when he sees any sort of rudeness within that. And they're just really good people. So I'm glad you asked about them, because I love pushing them. They're starting to do more and more conventions. Hopefully at some point they'll be out and you can interview all 21 of them. Well, maybe just Cedric.
All right, so you love taking photography and taking pictures. So what are some of your fun pictures you've taken and your love of them?
Oh, well, I was a photography minor in college. I was lucky enough to get a chance to study under George Krause, who was one of the people that did a lot of the f-stop work for Kodak's Joy of Photography, the original Joy of Photography. Okay. So I was very lucky to study under him, and he encourages his students to shoot a lot. Yeah. And fortunately now with my 16 gig card on my digital, I can just shoot. I think we've probably got close to 400 pictures of mock combat alone. And that's not including the couple of hundred I took at the dance. Yeah. And that's not including the probably 100 or more on my small camera that I have. So, yeah, so I love having pictures. for both the website, both humorous and fun and things like that, or serious. It's just something fun. It's a good way to keep memories, and I post them both on my Facebook fan group and my Facebook and my website, so that other people that maybe couldn't get here can see how fun it is, and will hopefully be here. That would be nice.
Right. So it's not just about posting funny pictures on Mock Combat. You do post poses and the right stances for those.
Yeah, there are very few funny pictures from Mock Combat. There are a few. I've got a shot of Nabashin kicking Alucard's butt, which I'm very fond of. I've got several, like that just the combination of characters fighting are fun. But for the most part, I just shoot pictures during the workshop, or I have a friend, like this weekend, my friend Wes May shot the whole time, and he took maybe 400 pictures during the course of the two workshops. Yeah, and then I will put some of those pictures, I'll put 12 or 15, something like that, on the Mock Combat for Cosplay Facebook fan group. And then every 6 months, so the next update will be around June, I will do the update to the Mock Combat for Cosplay gallery on my website. And I started doing it every 6 months, like around June and December, because I could come back from a convention and post, 15, 20 pictures, and then the next con post, 10 or 12 pictures. It makes more sense, and it's a lot more exciting in terms visually to be able to post, well, I've got an update, and here are 8 more pages and 100 more pictures for you to look at. So that's just a lot of fun. I just think it's something that people seem to appreciate. So
there is a double Mock Combat this weekend. So tell us. Well, you have 2 of them. One of them is a beginner.
Right.
One was an intermediate.
Yes.
How are those this weekend?
Our attendance was amazing. We had probably the largest intermediate workshop we've had here. It's as I've told you before the interview, it's my signature panel. It's the most fun I have at a convention. Although I have to say, being the new roast master for Ohayocon was a lot of fun. It's some of the most fun I have at the convention. I've been a fight director for 20 years. I love teaching stage combat, and it's something that helps them. And man, it's a workout. A lot of them came in today after yesterday's workshop very sore. And yet they still got in there and were working. But the real reason for the intermediate is I've been doing the beginning workshop almost since I started doing conventions, and we have people that have taken it 8 and 9 times. And to me, it's not fair that they don't get to go on and do more, because with the beginning workshop, it's got to be the exact same thing, and I teach beginning stuff. So it's not fair that, yes, every time you do the workshop, you get a different partner. It'll be a different workshop every time for you. But, after a while, you're going to want to progress and do more advanced things. So this is a way of letting the students, or not the students, but the attendees who are serious about it and want to go on and do more and more exciting things, it gives them a chance to learn more and to break out. There's a lot more of their creativity shown in that workshop, so it went very, very well.
Awesome.
I'm pretty exhausted because we had intermediate. I ran over to Max and Irma's, got some chicken noodle soup, because if you are here at Ohayocon, go to Max and Irma's on Saturday or Sunday and get the chicken soup. You won't be sorry. Shameless plug for my favorite chicken soup. So
it's okay. So for those that know about behind the scenes, you and Greg work extremely hard for this con, and you've poured your heart and soul into this convention. How much does it mean to you guys?
Well, this convention means a lot to both of us. It's like a family. I will say Greg works much harder than I do. He heads 2 departments, one being the live music events, which the dance goes from like midnight to 5 in the morning. Yeah. And he has to be here the whole time. And that's on top of, in addition to being head for 2 departments and running this all-night event, he still has to do panels and autograph sessions and things just like any other guest. So it becomes, it's very wearing. He usually gets home from this convention and sleeps for almost 2 days. Yeah. He ends up so worn out. With me, you know, a lot of my prep work for this show and from now on is being the roast master and setting up things for the roast and getting I deal a lot with both con chair and guest relations and the roastee.
Yeah.
And seeing, you know, who they would like to come out and roast them. For me, it's a lot more email work. It's a lot of email and phone calls. Greg, because he designs the program and things like that, he has a lot more hands-on. But I wouldn't volunteer to offer up so much of my time, and Greg wouldn't either, if this convention didn't mean the world to us, and if we didn't love this convention and everyone associated with it. So that's why we're willing to give up a lot of time. Obviously, I can talk about playing Frieza in Dragon Ball Z Kai. Sangoku Basara has come out, so I can say that I'm playing Takeda Shingen. I think it has now been announced that I'm playing Prince Soma in Black Butler. Tears to Tiara has come out, so I can talk about that. And I've got a lot of other stuff that I can't talk about. But I will say I have to tell my very funny story, and I'll try to do it without profanity. I was at OMG-Con, which is another con that I love dearly. And I won't use the profanity that this young lady used, but this young girl comes up to me and she says, you work for Funimation. Very huffy. And I said, yes, I do. I'm a contract worker with them. She goes, they're going to up my favorite show. I was like, really? I mean, this young, probably 13, 14 years old, very adamant. And I was like, well, what show are you talking about? And she said, they are going to up Black Butler. And I said, now, a very good friend of mine is directing this. And, in fact, we've become friends once I started working on the show. I had met him once prior to that, but we've become good friends since then. And she goes, I said, well, why? Why do you think this is going to happen? She goes, well, it is an accent-heavy show. Correction. Technically, actors refer to that as dialects. Yes. And I said, yes, and the director for that has worked as a dialect coach at theaters all over Dallas. And she goes, well, come on, it's English accents, and that's easy. I said, no, because technically there are some regions of England, especially when you get into Welsh and things like that, where the dialect is actually very tricky. And she goes, well, whatever. They're going to up my favorite character. Fine, I'll play. Who is your favorite character? There's an Indian prince in the show named Prince Soma. Now, I was not allowed to say that I was playing the role yet. And I said, well, I do know the actor who's doing that role. And he is noted for doing a lot of dialect work. He's very good. In fact, I think he said that he's going to be playing, dialect-wise, he's doing it as an Oxford-educated Indian, which is a lighter, more like Mohinder Suresh kind of thing. It's a much lighter Indian accent. And she goes, well, that's what it's supposed to be. I said, oh, good. And so now I decided to have a little bit of fun. I said, well, because Patrick Seitz is playing Agni, who's my sidekick. And he's amazing in it, because he does full-blown Brahmin. I said, and there's a character that's like his sidekick named Annie, and she goes, it is Agni. And I said, well, whatever. And because that's what she kept saying to me. I was like, well, whatever. And I know that he's doing full-blown Brahmin. Well, that's what it's supposed to be. I said, okay, good. Well, maybe they have messed it up. And just kind of, so I'm wondering how she feels when she sees that I'm the character that she was complaining about. And it was the person she was complaining to. So. What are you going to do? Whatever.
All right, Chris, thank you so much for coming out.
Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
All right, thank you so much, man. Have a good day. All right.